light picture. Well, if you're hoping to see some sunshine today, unfortunately today is not going to be your day, as most of the country really being masked by extensive cloud cover. The cloud's pretty thick this morning from the U.S.-Canadian border across the Great Lakes, and more clouds draped all the way down towards the Gulf Coast. What's going on today, we have a deepening low pressure system that continues to churn across the southern plain states. It's producing some widespread precipitation throughout much of the east. Meanwhile, a little break in the action, some fair skies returning to the Intermountain West, but then more clouds gathering as we head farther towards the west as another disturbance comes on board across the Pacific Northwest. Here's the current weather map, and it's pretty busy today already. Weaker systems, though, coming in across the west. But our main storm system today is this vigorous low-pressure system that's poised over eastern Texas, along with a low, kind of a front snaking its way across Arkansas and then tailing back towards the Florida Panhandle. Besides the surface features, though, a very strong upper-level low that's also pulling out of the southwest and gliding towards the east, and it's helping to enhance our storm system. So what's happening today, we have a lot of moisture that's being drawn up from the Gulf of Mexico, much colder air pouring down from the north. And all in all, this is setting the stage for a big, broad, large-scale area of precipitation. Lots of overrunning rainfall today. There's showers flaring up around the Ohio Valley, turning into showers and storms farther towards the south. And some of these already today have been quite powerful, quite severe over eastern Texas, primarily right around the Houston metro area, where we've had some tornadic thunderstorms already today. Places like Montgomery and Harris and Fort Bend counties, possible tornadoes earlier. So indeed, some very powerful thunderstorms taking hold of eastern Texas. Now farther towards the north out in the colder air, we've had a band of snow and ice. Still, the snowflakes are flying across the western high plain states, and then quite possibly some significant icing, likely across the central plains and across the lower lakes come later on today. But for the severe thunderstorms, our primary trouble spot will be across the deep south. Here we have a very unstable air mass that's being aided by a strong jet that's slicing through this region. So we get the extra energy from that jet stream helping to really aid in thunderstorm development. Anywhere today from Jackson, Mississippi and Montgomery over towards New Orleans, likewise around Houston and around San Antonio. All of you folks will be fair game to see some very powerful thunderstorms. Besides that, too, we've had a problem with some ice and snow. Snowy conditions continue right now around Denver down towards Albuquerque. Then we've got a band of icing problems from the central plains and stretching over towards western Pennsylvania. Maybe the most significant icing today will be slated for western Pennsylvania, and their ice storm warnings have been posted, so watch out for some very treacherous, tricky traveling around the lower lakes and across western Pennsylvania. Now, as we break it down for you, first of all, heading towards the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley, primarily looking at some cool rains this morning with temperatures hovering in the mid-30s. It's raining right now around Indianapolis and Terre Haute down towards Evansville. More rains right across the Ohio River Valley through Cincinnati and Covington, Lexington and Louisville. You're reporting some rain. But then farther towards the north, some of that rain starts to mix with freezing rain. We've had some icing problems already this morning for West Lafayette, northward over towards South Bend, Indiana. Spotty freezing rain, too, back over towards Peoria and Springfield, Illinois. And then more freezing rain to deal with as we head over towards Dayton, Ohio. Now for Chicago, mainly some cool rains this morning, and most of that falling on the south side of town around Naperville and around Downers Grove. Some rain, scattered rains too back over towards Joliet, Illinois. As we head a little bit farther towards the south, we start to pick up some showers with some embedded thunderstorms. Lighter rains, though, right now stretching across the Cumberland Plateau of eastern Tennessee through Crossville. Again, the scattered rains, too, for western fringes of Virginia. Then we've had some rain, too, for the Atlanta metro area, including Smyrna, Marietta, and Kennesaw. Kind of a slow go if you're heading off on I-20 westbound this morning. Also, I-75 and I-85 will be impacted by the rain. More rain for central Alabama, and then some very heavy soaking rains across central sections of Mississippi, around Meridian and Jackson, on into Tupelo and Greenwood. Light to moderate and occasionally heavy rain still pelting this general area. The worst conditions, though, continue across Texas, where we've had bands of very severe thunderstorms. Intense thunderstorms right now running all the way down towards the Dallas metro area, including Montgomery and Harris, on into Fort Bend counties. Strong thunderstorms, too, over towards Tyler and likewise around San Antonio. Showers and storms advancing through this area. They're generally moving off towards the east, although individual cells are moving off towards the northeast at about 25 miles per hour. Now, again, keep in mind that some of these thunderstorms have had a history of producing possible tornadoes. So this is a very dangerous scenario with possible tornadoes right around the Houston metro area. Be really careful this morning. Out towards the west, so the weather starts to ease up a little bit, but still a day for the rain gear. Moisture continues to feed in from off the Pacific. Rains this morning around Quileute, Seattle, Tacoma, and Olympia, and more rains drape southward along Interstate 5. And lastly, into California we go. Kind of a wet start to your day, too. Scattered rains around the Bay Area. It's raining this morning for Alameda and Oakland, and more rains, too, across the foothills back over towards the Sierra Nevada. A quick look at the temperatures this morning, and most of the country kind of in the deep freeze. Lots of teens and 20s and 30s, although down towards the south, not too bad. Still some comfortable temperatures for New Orleans with 65 degrees. Houston with those intense thunderstorms at 67, but much cooler in the north. Temperatures around 33 degrees this hour for New York City. We'll see how warm it's going to get for later on this afternoon. Let's check out the forecast with Vivian.
Well, Cheryl, in the forecast, many areas will see inclement weather today, but there are some areas